13th round. I don't know the exact title of it yet. I'll get it. But trip down memory lane. There's a playlist on one of my YouTube pages where I have nothing but the biggest boxing fights in the last 40, 50 years. Doesn't mean, Foreman versus Jones, that was a great one. No, that wasn't a big fight. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Rumble in the Jungle. I'm talking about B-Hop versus Roy Jones 1. I'm talking about Tito Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. I'm talking about Mayweather versus Canelo. I'm talking about Mayweather versus De La Hoya. The big fights, the big events from boxing in the last 50, 60 years. And what I'm going to do maybe once a week is we'll just go back in time. We'll watch the fight. I'll tell you what fight I'm watching. Now, you guys can watch whatever fight, is on the list at any time. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be watching this fight tonight. You know what I mean? We'll talk about it. I'll come back on the 13th round. We'll go over it. We'll talk about what we saw. For example, last night, I watched Pernell Whitaker versus Oscar De La Hoya. A robbery, in my opinion. I had it scored this. Some may think this is high. 10 rounds to 2. Pernell Whitaker. I didn't think Oscar De La Hoya did much of anything to win that fight, but he ended up winning a fight, and he won it by ridiculous margins on top of that. Part of that was also a ridiculous rule that I learned in that fight by the WBC in Suleiman, and that's a whole nother thing. But fights like that, I'll say we're watching a fight, put it out there on Twitter, say it the day before on the 13th round, and we come back and we talk about it the next day. So that's is what we got going on this summer here on the 13th round, man. And I'm your main man, Kenny Caraway.